Ogun State PDP Chair, Inec officials arrested for alleged vote buying. President Tinubu approved 16.7 billion naira for immediate reconstruction of Mokwa Bridge. Federal government inaugurates committee on collective bargaining for health sector. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump pushes for Ukraine to agree to end war with Russia. Good evening. This is News at 7 on West Spring Television. My name is Tomilola Daniel Adejowo. Two members of the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Ogun State, including its chairman Abayomi Tella, and two officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission (Inec), have been arrested in Peru in possession of huge sums of cash, allegedly meant for vote buying in the Remo Federal Constituency election. The suspects, who were said to have been arrested in early this morning, are reported to have provided very useful information to the police regarding their respective roles in the grand plan to bribe official elections and rig the by-election. But in a swift reaction, the Ogun PDP claimed Teller was arrested in its hotel in what appears to be a calculated attempt to weaken the opposition. The PDP alleged that the move was to pave the way for the All Progressives Congress to manipulate the election in the ruling party's favor.
Yeah, at the early hours of today, being 16th of August 2025, these people were arrested at Peru. This is Mr. Your name, please.
Just Times.
Eh?
Just Times. Just Times.
You are who?
I'm Harry Supervisor.
Where do you work?
Inec.
With the following woman. This woman too was arrested. Your name? Where do you work? Inec. The two of them are staffs of the Inec. They were posted here to conduct the by-election to the Federal House of Representatives. And instead of them to do the right thing, they were met obnobbing with politicians who sent for them to collect money.
Meanwhile, the Ogun State Governor, Dr. Abiodun, cast his vote in his Osoye Ward 3 Units 002 in Peru in the ongoing by-election for Remo Federal Constituency. Speaking shortly after exercising his franchise, the governor expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the process and commended the Independent National Electoral Commission (Inec) for its level of preparedness. He noted that despite the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS), the machine taking some time to capture in some places, so far the exercise was peaceful and going smoothly. It was gathered that the turnout for the poll was impressive, while security officials were sighted at the strategic locations to ensure a peaceful election. In Edo State, Governor Monday Okpolo has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission (Inec) to address lapses in the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) machine. He said this after casting his vote at Ward 2, Unit 1, Domi Primary School in Eson, central government area of the state. Speaking with journalists, Governor Okpolo noted that although the exercise was peaceful, the BVAS machines employed by the Electoral Commission were causing unnecessary delays. The coordinator office of the First Lady, Mrs. Adesili Okpolo Anani, who also cast a ballot at the simpler unit, commended INEC for the peaceful process and urged voters to participate fully and defend their vote.
You can see the frustration. The BVAS is just too slow. It takes a lot of time before you can log in. It's a big problem. So I think INEC need to look into this. Well, so far so good. It's been
good. Accreditation has been going on well, and people are coming out to vote. INEC is doing great. The agents are here, and the people.
Up north, the All Progressives Congress (APC) has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission to cancel the by-election for Shanomo Bagwai constituency and the rerun election for Gari constituency in Kano State over what it called widespread violence and disruption. In a statement issued on Saturday by its National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka, the party said the elections were marred by extreme violence and disruption by armed thugs across several polling units in the affected areas. According to Moka, verifiable reports from Shanono and Bagwai local government areas and Gari constituency have voters fleeing polling areas with deployed security personnel overwhelmed by the violence, making the prospect of a credible election impossible. Meanwhile, the Kano State Police Command has arrested no fewer than 288 thugs with dangerous weapons at the 4 local government areas where the by-election was held. The command's public relations officer, SP Abdullahi Haruna, who confirmed the arrest, said the suspects were arrested for allegedly attempting to disrupt the poll. The security operatives of the Kebbi State Police Command have rescued 2 kidnapped victims unhurt following his first gun battle with bandits in Dankadi village. In a statement on Saturday, the State Command spokesperson, Nafiu Abubakar, said the rescue operation occurred on Friday during an aggressive patrol around the Riba district of Danko Sago local government area of the state. The statement said the joint team comprising police officers, vigilantes, and local hunters was led by the Divisional Police Officer, DPO, of Riba. The spokesperson reveals that after a prolonged gun duel, operatives successfully rescued 26-year-old Tonko Bello of Kemba village in the state and 25-year-old Ishiaka Abubakar of Gumi government area of Zamfara state. The victims were reportedly abducted on August 9 while grazing their cattle in Garibi Forest, Zamfara state. Both men were reportedly taken to a medical facility for examination before being reunited with their families. In the court, the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Afam Osigwe, has criticized state governors who publicly donate cars, houses, and other items to judges, describing the gesture as demeaning and damaging to judicial independence. Speaking in an interview with Channel Television Sunrise Daily, Osigwe expressed concern that the practice undermines the image of the judiciary. This is as it added that it also fuels perceptions of undue influence by the executive. The host highlighted concerns about judicial. According to the NBA president, such acts diminish the stature of the judiciary and give the impression that judges are beholden to governors who bankroll the needs. Osigwe stressed that the judiciary should be an independent part of government and should not be demeaned or reduced to a point where members of the judiciary should be given handout as if a favor was being done to them. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has approved the release of 16.7 billion naira for the immediate reconstruction of the Moka Bridge in Niger State, which was destroyed by flooding in May. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, announced this in Abakaliki on Saturday after a meeting with the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi. Mr. Idris, who is leading a federal government delegation on the 3-day tour of project and citizen engagement in the Southeast, said the approval underscores the administration's responsiveness to urgent infrastructure needs. The minister also commended Senator Umahi for a swift response in the wake of the disaster, including dispatching experts to assess the damage shortly after the bridge was washed away. According to him, the approval for the bridge reconstruction will be music to the ears of the government and people of Niger State. Over 150 people in the Mokwa local government area of the state died following the devastating flood, destroyed homes and displaced thousands of residents in May. Moving on, the federal government today inaugurated the Committee on Collective Bargaining for the Health Sector, signaling the official commencement of negotiations with major health sector unions in line with Articles 1 and 2 of the Guidelines of Collective Bargaining Agreement Machinery. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pei, who led the inauguration, stated that the effort of the government was aimed at building a fair and sustainable framework for the health sector's workforce. He stated that health workers are central to the government's mission of delivering quality health care, and it is the duty of the government to ensure that their needs are addressed with sincerity, transparency, and mutual respect. The high-level inauguration ceremony held in Abuja had in attendance the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammadu Ingadi, and the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Isaac Salako. The negotiations will involve structured engagement with the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, the Joint Health Sector Union, JOHASU, and the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, among others, focusing on remuneration, working conditions, professional development, and welfare of health workers. The excitement and hope that agreed to the announcement of teachers' recruitment exercise by the Ogun State government in February 2024 are now giving way to frustration and disappointment for thousands of applicants and students feeling the impact of paucity of teachers in government-owned schools. This follows the recent employment of the Imole Youth Corps to public schools across the state, a move that for many signals a pause or even a halt. The dreams of joining the state's teaching workforce. Toby Sanusi tells us more on this.
When the Ogun State government announced plans to recruit 5,000 teachers and 250 education officers in February 2024, the response was overwhelmingly positive. About 32,000 candidates applied, paying 2,000 naira each for the form, believing it was finally their turn to step into the classrooms officially. But today, many of those hopefuls watch from the sidelines as the newly deployed 1,750 Imole Youth Corps, a transitional arrangement designed to provide employment opportunities for youth, take up positions in the same schools they were waiting to teach hard.
And at the end of the day, still going for the interview and still not being employed as a teacher, it is not encouraging. In fact, for them deploying Imole Youth Corps, what is now the essence of those that took their time to write an exam, those that paid money, they paid money for that form.
Recounting the difficulties and concerns that accompanied the examination process, these applicants who craved anonymity are frustrated, having waited for over a year, while their counterparts in Oyo State have been employed by the state government in an exercise that kicked months after Osun kick-started recruitment plans.
Went through a lot of stress. The interview was so bad that those who went for the interview were so disappointed.
The Imole Youth Corps was launched in February 2025 by Governor Ademola Adeleke, who assured that the members were to deliver support services across sectors, but their engagement as teachers in the education sector raises competence and expertise questions. Lai Lawi, a retired principal and an educationist, says the deployment is an attempt to degrade education further in the state.
Yes, they could be graduates, they could even be PhD holders, but you didn't interview them for the teaching job. Why don't you now deploy those for the teaching? Don't you interview for the teaching job? If you cannot take more than 10, then you can now talk about money, that it is because of money you cannot employ those. Teaching is not just for anybody. It is meant for those with passion for it.
However, Olawale Rashid, the spokesman to Governor Ademola Adeleke, defended the deployment of Imole Youth Corps to schools, insisting that it is not a replacement for teachers' recruitment exercise.
The deployment of Imole Youth Corps teachers is not a replacement for the plan to recruit teachers. The deployment of Imole Youth Corps is just a complementary step to fill a gap that we see existing. And the people we deployed are also highly qualified. Most of them are NC holders, most of them are degree holders.
Mr. Rashid blamed seized local government allocations by the federal government as the reason for the pause in the teachers' recruitment exercise, but he stopped short of giving an actual date for the employment of the 5,000 teachers, of which there have been speculations of a reduction in the amount that will be eventually recruited if the government concludes the exercise.
The federal government, through the APC, has seized our allocation unjustly, illegally, unlawfully, and the whole world is aware. Now, it affected running of states because the state government has to now take up responsibility of the local government. So, to them, the teachers to be, they should be rest assured that eventually Mr. Governor will still issue a letter to them.
Mr. Rashid's reason is, however, not enough, according to Mr. Lawi, who insisted that the local government allocation seizure is no ground to halt the teachers' recruitment.
It is the federal government that pays for primary schools 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, public school, and JS 1, 2, 3. public school. It is the federal government that pays the salary.
It would be recalled that the state government, through the Commissioner for Information, Kolapo Alimi, and in January this year, linked the delay in the teachers' recruitment exercise to the minimum wage review, while vowing that the teachers would resume by February 2025 at the latest.
So when we discovered that the issue of minimum wage came, the best thing for us is, first and foremost, to negotiate with the workers on the issue of minimum wage. Settle that one. The existing workers, let them be happy. Don't let us by February, everybody will have
That statement came months after the Commissioner for Education, Dipo Iluwale, said the new teachers would resume in September 2024.
By the grace of God, new teachers will resume with the pupils come 2 weeks this time. By next week, there's going to be interview. You'll be hearing it on radio as from Wednesday.
While applicants wait, public schools across the state continue to struggle with paucity of teachers as parents and students bear the brunt of the shortages. In some schools visited, a single teacher handles multiple classes, while some basic subjects like mathematics, physics, English language, among others, lack teachers.
Àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n wà ní school wọn ní àwọn teacher. Àwọn míì fẹ́ ṣe WAEC lọ́dún tó ṣe pé kò teacher fún wọn bí mathematics àti physics.
There is no enough teacher. We are teaching. We depends on corpus and the little teachers sent to the community. We lack teachers on mathematics, English, physics, chemistry, biology, and agric.
As the state government continues to defend its decision as a short-term fix, the reality on ground is that the hopes of qualified applicants remain in a state of uncertainty. In the classrooms, the children keep learning, but whether the government's action will stand the test of time, only the coming months will tell. 1,750 Imole Youth Corps members are expected to resume across all primary and secondary schools in September, a stopgap measure to mitigate the impact of paucity of teachers across all schools, the government says. This is also coming almost over a year after the Osun State government commenced the teachers' recruitment exercise across schools in Osun State. However, the expertise and competence of these Imole Youth Corps members remains a subject of question. From Oshogbo, the Osun State capital, Toby Sanusi, Western Spring Television News.
You're watching news at 7 on Western Spring Television, still to come. Listen to Okunjo Willis's unreported truth about economy. AGC urges federal government. We'll bring you more on this and we'll return. Please stay with us.